Greetings, everyone. This is PrimroseCameron.com, and we are all the way live. I know I struggle a little bit of time. I am 4 minutes off, but today is Happy Tuesday. You see, I have the one and only Karen Pierce in the building. Yes. All things fabulous. Actually, I'm excited because we met, right? Untraditional circumstances. I had a police officer in my classroom on a master level.
Right, my professor.
And I said, oh, okay. And we're Delta sisters and all those things. And so, we're still in the month of March. We are celebrating women, not only in March, but all year long. But definitely today has been a powerful day. Not only for myself, but all things fabulous on the campus of Bethune-Cookman today. Shout out to BCU. There was a women's conference, and so the topic was, and I was sharing this a little earlier, Karen, I was super excited about it. It said, nevertheless. And I started thinking, like, Lord, all these things that have occurred, but nevertheless, I have been able to just be persistent and continue to move forward. And I know we've tried to meet maybe 3 or 4 times now. But nevertheless.
We made it.
Right? We were persistent, right?
Yes.
We were intentional in making sure that this occurred. So nevertheless. So we are here live and in living color, all the way live on Cameron Chronicles Live, that is. Want to send special shout out to Kamika Kane and Mitzi Kane. #1 supporters with Mitzi's First Impression Hair Salon right there on New York Avenue, 640 West. West. So definitely come on down if you want to be a little spruced up. They don't let me leave home without it. And if I do, they send me a text and tell me fix that. So here I am with the one and only Karen. We did want to talk about it. Guys, I hope you're tuning in too, because sometimes we need to hear an outside voice, right, on what's going on in the minds of women. And sometimes we really should listen to the words that are not told.
Right.
And that kind of will help. And ladies, the same for us, right, on both perspectives. But I just really have so much respect for you, Karen, in all things that you represent, and your values that can be seen pouring through your pores, And so I did want to talk about some of the expectations we may have as women as far as relationships are concerned. So if you could just share kind of who you are, right? Your background is minister, by the way. You heard it there first. But so definitely, if you could kind of just share with us a background of who you are, and then we'll dive into relationships.
Well, actually, who I am, I'll start off with what I've done. I've been in law enforcement actually since September of 1983.
Wow.
I was a junior.
I didn't know that. What? Wow.
Yes, I started off in high school, worked as a dispatcher at Webster Groves Police Department, my junior year in high school. So law enforcement has really been my background. Stayed in law enforcement, not only in Webster Groves, Missouri, also in Hinesville, Georgia, Tampa, Florida, and now here at Volusia County Sheriff's Office. I enjoy being able to serve. That's really what my passion and heart is to serve others. In addition to law enforcement, I just retired September 6, 2017 from the military.
She does it all.
Yeah, go Army. Yes. And so I retired with the military, and I'm grateful for the opportunity again to serve. And also, I serve also as a pastor. I'm an associate pastor at Hope Fellowship Church, where my areas of responsibility. Shout out Hope! Hey, I'm pastor of evangelism, and again, my heart is to help other people. As we all just discussed, she was my professor for my master's degree in counseling, and I'm completing now my doctorate. I finished everything except my dissertation for my
yay! Awesome!
Yeah, Doctor of Education with a concentration in organizational leadership.
Oh wow!
So that's the short version of the long story of what I do.
Right.
That's gotten me to this point now. It's really about being able to make an influence and have value and difference in the life of other people, and especially in serving other women and serving youth, particularly young girls, and being able to influence them on the decisions they make that can affect them long term. A lot of times we get stuck in where we are and we don't recognize that the decisions we make now have consequences that can affect us long term.
Exactly.
So I really help others make that decision of what they're doing now to make a positive impact.
Wow, that's so powerful. That was a mouthful, right? I'm over here like, whoa, I know. I needed my notes. Today, as I mentioned earlier, I spent the day at Bethune-Cookman, and a lot of college students, right? And just all that they go through, I sometimes wonder, when will that part end? Like the struggle of just growing, right? And trying to get to the next stage, and when will it end that we don't have to worry about so many things that we tend to have to worry about now. And so in the area of relationships, because we were even talking about just women, not only in your homes, but relationship with other women, it seems that, and you're in law enforcement, it seems that now folks are loving videotaping when things aren't going right. And I struggle with that, right? Yes. I saw something where a male student, right, it was in a regular school, high school, male student pushed a female student, and they're videoing. Other people are watching. I keep telling young ones, if you are not part of this solution, you have to be part of the problem. And so, what is changing in our area of relationships that we're making this okay?
And this is, again, the Karenism is what I call it. We've become so desensitized to the feelings of other people, to the care of other people, and being concerned with other people's well-being. It's more important to get enough tweets and likes off of a post that you'll post, as opposed to being there to help someone else that may be in need. And relationships is for me, not just in male-female relationships or any other kind of relationships, but platonic relationships, sisterhood. It's about building each other up, because you never know when it's going to be your moment to need someone to help build you up. And so the seeds you plant today will make the determination of what you will reap tomorrow.
So what are we dealing with in our community, in our society now, where they have normalized this? Are we sending messages that are telling them it's not okay to not care?
We send the message that it's okay not to care, and we don't send enough messages to care. It's okay to sit up and be a part of a group watching violence occur, as opposed to being the one individual to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. We don't want to seem as if we're by ourselves. And believe it or not, you have more people that will support you in standing up for wrong than you do that will stand up in the wrong. And so we need to be able to be secure in ourselves and be bold to take a stand for what is right. And we need to see enough of what is being done right, and enough in our juveniles and our young adults of saying, wait a minute, we got to stand up. We see a lot of our juveniles and young adults speaking now against gun violence and against violence. Right. And I'm so proud that they're taking an opportunity to take a stance, because we have to be able to stand for something, or we're going to fall for it.
Yeah, and that definitely is impacting the generation of leaders. Yes. And I was talking to someone earlier today. We were talking about the lack, not only in relationships, but the lack of caring, right? So we have businesses now that are in need of workers. Right. They're not fulfilling their tasks. And there used to be a time that you would never miss your time of employment, your job, right? And people are now not going because they don't like so and so.
Right. And the value system, what we used to value years ago, or growing up, or what our parents would show value, and what our grandparents, they took value in their homes, they took value in their families, in their careers. We don't see people retiring after 40 years in the same place of employment. The millennials now, the generations, now, they'll rather quit and look for another job, as opposed to deal with the inner conflict at their workplace. And we really need to learn how to have socializing skills to deal with conflict, to deal with workplace conflict, so that we can have that longevity, and we can have that ability to say, you know what, I nevertheless was able to persevere at my place of employment because someone didn't like me.
Thank you for that. And so one of the sessions today, because there were so many great sessions, right, today at Bethune-Cookman, and a lot were student-run, student-driven. One was Me Too. Right, and everything that we're hearing, #MeToo, and the stand against that, and the criminal justice team spoke on that. And so I want to ask you, where are we in dealing with that community-wise? And do you find that women now are more so standing up for themselves, or are they remaining quiet as we have been for so many years?
I can see more people standing up for themselves, but not enough are standing up. And a lot of women and people who are either victims of crime watch how we respond to other situations and make determination. You know what? If they didn't help him, they didn't help her. Why do I speak out and put myself in the position of not getting the help? But when we see the system begin to turn and help those who are in need of help, I believe we'll see more people coming forward, because people speaking out.
The system has to make that change, because it's very difficult as an individual. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and I definitely feel, especially with young adults, because it was, college age, and I tell people all the time I wasn't always right, so forgive me for the times that I was wrong, right? So forgive me.
We all been there somewhere.
Yeah, right. Somewhere in the mix, I wasn't right, and I have a question there. How can we change that? There is movement, but how can we encourage it? And so that is a good question. So how can we encourage that with young adults to not accept that, we're going to give you some type of bonus if you do this,
right,
and devalue ourselves and use ourselves for that reason? How can we change that?
And especially when you talk about devaluing ourselves, we have to be sure and be secure in understanding who we are. When you understand who you are, you won't settle for anything less than what you deserve. And being able to speak out, being consistent when speaking out, being correct in speaking out, and then making sure you're positioning yourself with others who have the same like minds, have the same like agendas, so that you won't feel isolated in your circumstance.
Mm-hmm. Which is huge, because we often do that. And then also, so I had this question today, which I was like, gosh, here again, same thing happens. I went to Jamaica. The same questions are consistent. In the judging of speaking out lies the issue. So what do we share with our young adults in that element of judgment?
Speak out. And that may sound like a trite answer, but to continue, you're always going to have someone that speaks against you. Still speak out. You're going to have a naysayer. Still speak out. You're going to have those who want to speak against what you're representing, but do not let that stop you, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. You have to be confident in what you represent and who you represent to know that you can stand up against those who stand up against you.
So how do we help, as you're talking, I'm thinking this other piece, right?
Yes.
Because I definitely can feel in the church, we probably get that message, right? But how do we portray it outside?
And again, it's got to be more people, and I'm trying not to become real churchy, but I can't help it because that's who I am.
Yeah.
The church can't just be the church inside the four walls, but it has to be the church outside of the walls, and have the voice and be able to speak up again against the wrong, be able to speak in concert with those who are speaking for the right. We can't stand by and look like, ooh, that's a shame they have to go through that, and do nothing about it. Shame on us for not being involved. Shame on us for not being, an advocate in our community. The church, meaning the body, has to be able to get outside of the church and help make a difference.
And that's so important, and we do not do that enough. Even in our small communities, right, we can see something occurring, and we walk over it or step over. I'm saying we, I don't mean you. The other folks that ain't watching
Not
right
y'all,
now.
not y'all.
Not y'all.
And not the church, not my church.
Yeah,
That other
all
one
the
right
other
there
places.
across
All the
the
other
street,
places.
Not us.
Yeah. But that happens so often, Karen, and I'm telling you, even over the weekend, I was sharing with a group of young adults that I don't need you to be part of the problem. I need you, like your life depends on you being a part of the solution. And I need them to stay focused. I need them to be ready. And if everyone can show me a video of something that's not going right, but can't show me a video of something that is, we have an issue. We have a problem. Right? And it can't be, I'm not going to get in it, which I get that, right? Like, I'm not going to get in the line of fire. I'm not prepared for that. Karen, I'm going to need you. I can't do that.
I ain't going to do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, I just can't. I'll just fall out. But I know that I have to be able to tell other people. Someone has to tell the message and the story, and we're not doing that enough, right?
We can't continue to be comfortable in all of the chaos. And when I say comfortable in it, okay, it's going on over there. It's not directly affecting me, so I'm going to stay out of it. Then you become comfortable watching it and complain about it. We won't change what we'll continue to complain about. We'll continue to complain, but we won't get results. We won't get difference. We'll continue having the same complaints. And we got to be finished. We have to say enough about complaining. Let's make a difference. Let's say something that's going to make a change. And you would surprise yourself to see how many other people be willing to stand with you if you make the decision to stand.
Because you may be that person that triggers everything.
That change agent,
yeah,
yes.
wow, that will change everything.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to watch a show, movie, stuff like that, that's Netflix, Hulu.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you really want to make true changes, you have to be readily prepared.
Right.
And we have to say that we're going to be citizens in such a way that we're going to do that. I did want to talk about, because we are talking about women and all things fabulous, and some things sometimes we don't feel as fabulous, right, when we're doing certain things. And so, we talked about parenthood and single parenthood, right?
Yes.
I know you have some experience. I had some experience. Whether we signed up for it or not, there was experience. It was experience.
Right.
And we had it. So what are some words of wisdom that you could share with the public, someone that may be experiencing it, or something they want to share with even their children?
Take time for your children. Take time out to listen to your children. As some of you of our viewing audience may be aware, I have my grandchildren. I have two of my grandchildren. I have a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old. Yeah, keep praying, y'all. Keep praying. Yes. And so I find myself having to make the time again for them because they require so much attention and they seek attention. And if they're not going to get it from me, they're going to get it somewhere. And I don't want it to be negatively impacting them. So make the time for them. Share with them values, instill values in them, instill their character, help build them up. Because they're going to come in contact with people that will try to tear them down. And if we don't instill the foundation of knowing that they are fearfully and wonderfully made, or knowing that they are different by design, knowing that they're unique individuals, knowing that they have gifts, and then we'll end up crushing little spirits that won't have a chance to develop. And so as far as the single parenthood, I know you want to have your outside relationships and need that grown folk time and the adult time. But the fact that you've been gifted with children, don't misuse your gift.
Wow. But what about, Karen, what if I'm just tired?
Oh, I got it. Listen.
I'm just tired.
No. It's a difference from coming home, and if I'm hungry, I can make myself a bowl of cereal and go to bed.
Yes,
now I can't do that because I come home tired, don't I? And so, even when you're tired, and I would say to build a support system, and this is where, again, relationships come around. Build a support system with other single parents, with other friends that may have children, may not have children, that when you're just at your wit's end and you need to throw out a lifeline, say, somebody tag me in with me.
Right.
You have somebody that you can call, and you're like, you know what, girl, I'm on my way. Man, I got you. I'm coming to get the kids for a couple hours and then be able to rest.
Sometimes you just need that.
Right. But you can't live in isolation, and you have to develop friendships and relationships.
Because people need people. I keep telling y'all.
Yes.
People need people.
Yes.
I used to think, Karen, and I probably said it in the class, I don't know how many times, I'm an only child. I tell everyone this. I am an only child, right? So in my world, I thought it could just be me.
Right. Me,
and some more me.
Right.
Yeah. Problem is I was off tune because people need people. And when we start to not only understand that but embrace that, we can build a stronger community so that our children are affected positively, and that's something that we don't. I feel like we don't do it enough.
Yes.
That's the reason why Sisters Build Network and some other things that I started to implement came into play, because I was watching those gaps, right? I was watching those gaps. So yes, my son is 23. Now, if your child is in Pampers, I got you for an hour or two.
Just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes.
But I got a 2-hour limit because I'm not right. I haven't done that in 23 years. But having that network, especially like in Sisters Build, having that, or even in your church or any organizations, or heck, around the corner, right? And let's not forget, it is never too late to meet new people.
Right.
Right? Because sometimes we have to rotate people out just for our own sanity. Yeah, sometimes.
Can I say something to you?
Yes.
I really feel compelled even to say this because some of you have called your friend to help when you were at your wit's end, and called people and they weren't there for you. And you have people in your life that say, you know what, I got you, until you need them and they're nowhere around. don't let that discourage you from finding someone else who is going to be there for you. Because often we say, you know what, I tried so-and-so, I'm not going to put myself out like that, I got it by myself. And that's the wrong attitude. There are people out there that will help you and that will support you. And just like you said, sometimes you got to rotate both sides.
You do.
You know, you got to rise and fly,
Because
truth. People have, utilized as much as they can be of a benefit for that season. So don't quit just because someone said no to you, couldn't babysit your kids for you, or turned you down when you thought you could depend on them. There's somebody out there that really means that I'm here to help you, and you got to take advantage of that.
And we have to trust people. Yes. I know there are times that seems like the hardest thing. Yes. Right? If somewhere along the way somebody has not done right by you, like I get it, and that has occurred, it's almost part of the characteristic of living. Right? Something has occurred. Not your fault. You cannot control them. Only control yourself. But, I meet a lot of women, Karen, who say, well, how do you meet friends? I said, well, I meet them I show up in locations, right? And I leave with like 4 friends. I don't know how that happens. Now, maybe they're not the closest and they're not in a particular group, but you can create that at any moment, any time, because you're going to have a lot of connections with people, but someone has to put their foot forward,
To be a friend, you must first show yourself friendly.
Right.
If you go into a room and, let's standoffish or antisocial size and everybody else, that's how you're going to be received, and nobody's going to want to come up. But, you go in there with that outgoing personality, just excited because you know who you are and enjoying life, you're going to draw that to you. So you want to be a friend, show yourself friendly. You're looking for friends, be friendly.
Yeah, just go out there. They're there,
Right.
They're there. And rotate out. Yes. I don't know if you remember those phones that had the
rotary dial. Rotary dial.
Next.
Yes.
Next.
Yes.
Need to find the number 9. But
that's a long one.
But that sometimes occurs, right? We're not saying you can rotate them back in at a later time. And then we have to also realize that as our lives develop, there are changes. So not everyone's going to fit those changes. I'm pretty sure the friends that you had before, they're not raising their grandchildren.
Right. And that gets to be challenging. And so it's no offense against the person.
Yeah.
It's just, we're in different places right now. It's like going up on an elevator. You get on the elevator with some people, they can go to the 3rd floor and they got to get off because they're not going as high as you're going. And you're not mad at them because they're not going all the way up. Thank you for the ride. We enjoyed our company, and you just have to keep going. Some floors you're going to be on by yourself, but you got to keep on going to reach your goal and destination. And so don't be offended if somebody has their time in your life has expired. Thank them for the journey that they've enjoyed with you, and you have to keep going because God's not going to take somebody away from you without replacing someone.
And I love that elevator analogy because eventually somebody gets back on the elevator. So at some moment, at some time, you'll actually have that. Wow. So, one of the last things that I kind of wanted to discuss, because that was powerful and great takeaways, one of the areas that I wanted to discuss was the area of self-esteem. A lot of us as women, we struggle, and men, you probably do too. We just don't know what that feels like, right? But we definitely know that we have to be ready for all forms, right? This is coming at us, that is coming at us. Heck, because she's a pastor. Heck. Thank you. I didn't finish it. Help is on the way. We also have to remember, right, that things are coming from everywhere, and we have to be readily prepared for that. But also our self-image and how we feel about ourselves really hinders our own growth. So can you speak on that?
Be confident in who you are. Know who you are, because if you don't, you're going to define yourself by somebody else's definition. You're going to let somebody else start telling you who you are, and then when you don't fit into that mold, you'll feel bad because you didn't meet up to their expectations. Be confident in you. If you feel like wearing makeup today, wear your makeup, girl. If you feel like today, I just don't have it, it's okay. Still wear yourself well with self-confidence. And when you're confident in how you present yourself, that helps you also deal with the things that life brings toward you. Some days it's going to be hard, but understand, even in hard days, you can make it. Even in difficult days, you can make it. Just know what's inside of you. Just understand, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. His works are wonderful. I know it too well, but you have to know it. You can't rely on somebody else to build you. You have to be built based upon who you are in your relationship with God.
So Karen, at what point did you get that?
Probably my senior year in high school, I started to get it. No, I didn't get it all the way.
Okay.
I went through a whole bunch. My senior year in high school, I started figuring out something's different about me. and I don't fit into everybody else's category. So I started recognizing I'm different. And so I didn't understand it or begin to embrace it probably until after I had a couple of failed relationships, because I designed myself based upon what I thought they were looking for. And when the relationships failed there with my self-esteem, I was like, okay, let me now recreate myself to match somebody else's expectation. I had to stop. And as I developed my relationship with God, I was like, wait a minute. I know who I am in Him. And once I began understanding who I was in Him, I began to understand me better and being confident in me. And that confidence has carried me on to some healthy relationships and healthy decisions now in life.
Wow, which that's a struggle within itself.
Yes.
Right, searching for that or actually getting there. That's like the finish line.
Right.
The race that you didn't sign up for.
Right.
But you're like,
but
oh!
It's a running. Right.
And I'm at the end. How did I get here, right? And that's powerful within itself. And the last thing I want to talk about is, you mentioned all these things. You said retired from the military, right? Pastor, right? I mean, police. Yeah. So, right, working on your doctorate. Right, now you have the little ones, right? How did you create that balance, Karen? Because I'm tired thinking about it. How did you, as the woman that you are, and challenges that you may have experienced, how did you finally say, okay, these pieces are me?
I realized what wasn't me. I've made a lot of bad decisions, a lot of failures, but my whole premise and the foundation of who I am is how can I serve others? How can I make a difference in the lives of others? And I found myself, if I stayed occupied or preoccupied in making a difference in the lives of someone else, that helped me with my balance. Now, there are times when, of course, I am tired because my plate is so full. And sometimes I have to reevaluate what is not supposed to be on my plate. How did that get on there?
Right.
Wait a minute. Move that off. And because I can't do all things, but the things that I know I'm supposed to do, I have to be willing to do them well. And so that means sometimes omitting things that I may want in order to be able to do the things that I know I need to do.
So what happens when you say no?
I'm okay with it.
What about the others? They're like, what?
I was 35 years old. True story. I was 35 years old when I began to appreciate the word no. I recognized it was a complete sentence. It did not need another sentence behind it. I said no. And I looked at people get attitudes with my no. And for a minute, I was like, wait a minute, am I wrong for saying no? I was like, no, I'm not wrong. Actually, I'm actually doing you the best thing I can do by being honest and saying no. And so you have to be willing to say no to some people and some things, in order to maintain balance.
As you're saying that, I'm laughing because I went to the little boy was turning 2. I was so sleepy. I just have real talk, right? So, sister, you know who you are, right? Hug him, kiss on him for me. I was so tired. So I brought my gift. I hugged everyone, and I said, I'm going home to sleep. And everyone started laughing. I said, what happened? They said, you just said, you're going home to sleep. I said, oh, that's how I keep my friends.
Right.
I tell them the truth. I don't have anything else to give at this moment in time. But the truth. Because the truth is how I stay connected to other individuals. If I start making up stuff about this and that, that's not the truth. I'm tired. If I sit there, I'm not going to be any fun. Right? And so I just had to start doing that. And what you're saying is so meaningful and powerful. And ladies, make sure you tap into that. No is a complete, that's a whole book. No is a complete sentence. It doesn't require.
No.
It doesn't require anything.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't require anything else. And there's no guilt in it.
None at all.
It's a nice feeling not to carry guilt, right? And your truest friends will understand and appreciate you.
Yes, they will.
All day long.
Right.
Now the other ones, you're back to the rotary phone.
Right.
You know.
Leave them out. Like, all right. No,
bless your heart.
When you're honest with yourself, your true friends or genuine relationships, they'll appreciate your honesty. They will.
So what is any last words or inspiring message you'd like to share with the audience?
Even as we start off with a nevertheless. And I would encourage you to always have a nevertheless and persevere, regardless of what challenges you may be going through now. And you may say, I don't have any challenges. Welcome to life. You're either in a challenge, just got out of a challenge, or you're going to be going into one. And so my goal to you, my desire for you is that you will persevere and know where you're going and make sure you get there, because the journey of completion is a beautiful thing.
Wow, yeah. full circle. Tell us more about your church if they wanted to.
Yes, the senior pastor is John Paul McGee. We're at Hope Fellowship Church, 869 Derbyshire, on Resurrection Sunday. This coming up Sunday. Hey, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. Sorry.
2 services, 8 o'clock a.m. and 10:30 a.m. We'd love for you to come out and join us. Also, you can feel free to join us on Thursday for our 7 Last Sayings. We're open, welcoming, and we'd love to see you. Even if you just come by as a visit, I'd love to hug your neck and tell you welcome to the family of hope.
Wow. What did you say? 7 last sayings?
The 7 Last Sayings of Christ from the Cross. We're having those sayings on Sunday. Thursday at 7 o'clock at Hope Fellowship Church. And so it's going to be sermons, 7 different preachers, 6 guest preachers, which will be preaching those 7 sayings.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So I don't know about you, but I know about me. And my heart is filled. I want to thank you. This was the 3rd or 4th time as a charm. We don't even know what number it is. But we nevertheless, we were persistent. And we got here. And so to all the viewers and listeners, and if you're viewing it you'll view it at a later time, know that each and every Tuesday we're able to offer you what's going on not only in our community but in the lives of men, lives of women, your own life. Maybe there were questions you wanted to ask. Maybe you'll ask them later. We're going to do some tags, and so you can stay in contact with Karen or myself. You know that Sisters Build Network. I'm coming to Port Orange, y'all. Yay! Will be the 3rd Monday of every month right there at the YMCA. Yeah, Sisters Build Network, where we just are intentional about uplifting and growing women across the globe. Also 3rd Wednesdays, I'm right here in DeLand. We have the Calling a Few Good Men Conference coming up on the 21st. There's just some fabulous things going on. So make sure you stay connected, if not with me, some other folks out there. And let yourself be the person that holds the torch and does the walk and talks the talk, and ensure that we're building our community and we're building the lives, not only of yourself, right, but those that you come in contact with. So, as always, I am PrimroseCameron.com. That's really a website, y'all. Check it out. You heard it here first. Take care now. Bye-bye.